developers to write more sophisticated apps. But shares of United Continental rose a fraction. Investors cheered that its new chief executive asked to hear about operations from employees, which will hopefully improve operations. John Lesher, CNBC Radio.
Have you had trouble with online dating? This is eHarmony founder Dr. Neil Clark Warren. We've created a new solution, EH Plus. EH Plus combines the personal attention of a matchmaker with eHarmony's extensive pool of great singles. EH Plus gives you hand-selected matches and freedom from being online. Get started today. Call 855-930-LOVE. That's 855-930-LOVE.
My name is Ruth Rusi, and this is how I live United. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Consider this your invitation to sell. At buysellmakeoffer.com, you can sell as much as you want for the next 60 days without paying any fees whatsoever. Sound incredible? It is, and it's true. Buysellmakeoffer.com is the new exciting way to sell your stuff online. Make extra money right now. Sell your old car, furniture, video games, household items, clothes, even your home. Sell anything that's legal. Load up your stuff to sell right now at buysellmakeoffer.com. This is your official invitation to get on board to sell your stuff right now. Free for the next 60 days. And once you see how easy it is, you'll want to sign up for more because there are no item fees. That's right. Take this opportunity to move items from the other guys and sell it for free. You might even win a Samsung tablet, Amazon gift cards, and other cool prizes. BuySellMakeOffer.com is the future of online selling. You can use Skype to talk to your buyer or seller. Plus, you can use video to showcase your items. BuySellMakeOffer.com.
Good afternoon, 3:03. I'm Di Rice with the very latest in live local news here on KCAA 1050 AM. Deputies Nick Downey, 33, Michael Phelps, 29, and Charles Foster, 34, pleaded not guilty Tuesday in San Bernardino County Superior Court to one felony charge, each of assault by a peace officer. If convicted, they could face between 16 months and 3 years in custody. They were among the 10 deputies involved in the arrest of Francis Jared Pusak last April. The Apple Valley man fled from authorities and led them on a 3-hour chase across the high desert, which ended when Pusak fell off a stolen horse. A KMBC4 News chopper filmed the arrest, which included several minutes of deputies hitting and kicking Pusak. Deputies were told that he was armed and dangerous. And the California State University's Finance Committee told its Board of Trustees yesterday that another $101 million was needed to meet an expected increase in enrollment for the 2016-17 school year. That year will be the last for Governor Jerry Brown's multi-year funding plan initiated in 2013-14. That plan assumed an annual growth rate of 1.1% each year. At Tuesday's trustees meeting in Long Beach, Cal State officials say they anticipate an increase of 3% next year. The governor's plan also requires that the Cal State system not increase student tuition through the 2016-17 school year. So it kind of sounds like a little bit of a bind there. Inland Empire weather. We are under flash flood warning here in the San Bernardino County. So obviously the chance of showers are pretty good. Highs today, we've already met that, 102. We are back down to 96, overnight low of 75 right now. Checking out your drive through Lake Elsinore. There is an accident in the left lane of the 15 southbound just before Lake Street, and that has you stopped from Temescal Canyon Road. That is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind, KCAA 1050 AM.
Do you remember where you were on 9/11? Then here's where you should be this Friday, September 11th, at the Breakfast with Our Heroes, a 9/11 memorial ceremony in recognition of local heroes. It takes place at 6:30 a.m. in the Riverside City Hall, Main Street in Riverside, and is presented by AT&T and 88 Impact Foundation. You'll hear from a first responder who was there when the towers came down. Proceeds benefit Riverside Police and Fire. Let us remember together this Friday, 6:30 a.m. at Riverside City Hall.
Greetings and welcome. I just got the index finger that is, to tell me I'm ready to go. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on Kcaa 1050 on your AM radio dial. And I have a wonderful guest today, Roxanne Williams, who is running for City Council. Welcome, Roxanne.
Thank you so much.
It is a great pleasure to have you here, and I want you to tell us a little bit about why you are running for City Council. I grew up in San Bernardino. Most of the time I was in boarding schools away a lot, but my family and I lived here. My family's been here 112 years, and I love this town, and I've seen it deteriorate to almost nothing. And I will do anything I can to help you in what you're trying to do. So share with us something, and welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. First of all, I want to say that we are here broadcasting in the Carousel Mall in San Bernardino, and it brings me back, decades ago when I used to bring my little children who are now adults, but we used to come shopping here. And I remember bringing them to the carousel, and they used to have mini trains, and we rode in the mall. I did a lot of shopping here. I bought my first couch. To my chagrin, it was green. I don't know what I was thinking, but it was green back then. And I remember the Montgomery Ward, and it was a bustling center of entertainment and food, and we sit here now. It's almost a ghost town, and it's reminiscent of what has happened to San Bernardino due to lack of leadership. So right now we got to turn this city around, and that's why I'm running. I'm running for the 6th Ward, which is on the western part of San Bernardino, and I'm running to bring back the pride to the west side. And also we got to fix City Hall as well.
Amen. Is that a good way to end that remark from you?
Absolutely.
Amen. Amen. Well, it's very exciting to have you here. I'm all excited about having a female touch anyway. Besides a higher level of commitment to the city, I'm not sure what's happened. It's just very sad, very, very sad. And, it culminated with a big bankruptcy, and there's no reason for that. We have to run, and of course, maybe some of us don't run our personal lives properly as well, but we should be running this city like we run our personal life. We're responsible for the decisions we make. And if we don't take responsibility for them, we make bad decisions. And then when you're corporately involved, as in a city or a company, can't make it.
Absolutely. So we have to look at fiscal accountability. And basically, in your own pocketbooks, we don't spend more than we take in, because that would be insanity. But the city of San Bernardino has had a history of spending more than they have. The piggy bank is empty now. We're in bankruptcy. So, I'm running on fiscal accountability, making sure that we balance our budget, that we watch our pennies by doing yearly audits. It's really important to do that. It's done in the business world. We need to do it here in San Bernardino as well. We need to know where we are financially every month, and I'm advocating having just a report card. I'm an educator. So why can't the average person understand where we are financially every month? We can give ourselves a letter grade, A, B, C, D, or F. And right now, obviously, we're in bankruptcy. We're at a F. But still, we should update the residents every month. How are we doing financially? Are we still insolvent? Are we still service insolvent? Are we still personnel insolvent? So, let's communicate, let's be transparent, and let's be fiscally responsible.
Well, I think that's an absolutely beautiful platform. I, being a former banker, I was the chairman of the board and CEO of a banking institution, and I'm very familiar with audits and very familiar with how wonderful they are, because it even tells management what's going on. And management sometimes doesn't know, because the reports themselves can sometimes be misunderstood and sometimes misleading and sometimes just not done.
Absolutely. So here's an analogy. If I give you $10 and you promise me that you're going to spend it wisely, and I give you that $10 and you say, okay, and you take the $10 and I walk away and I never ask you, what did you do with it? I don't know, maybe you spent it wisely, maybe you did not, but you should be able to prove what you did. That's all an audit is. You know, whether we do them internally or we have an outside external audit, it's just fiscal common sense. And for the last couple of years in San Bernardino, the audits were not done. And as a result, the residents have suffered. And particularly the San Bernardino Employment Agency, they have been hit hard because the state required them to show audits, which were not available. And they've had to lay off people, and it's really sad that we have been lax in our fiduciary responsibility in the city.
Roxanne, that's news to me. I did not know that.
Absolutely.
That is a very sad commentary.
Absolutely.
However it happened, it's a very sad commentary.
So, and I'm not here to harp on what was done in the past. We already know that we're in a bind right now with bankruptcy, but right now we need leadership right now. And I believe I'm one of those leaders, one of those visionary leaders that we need right now. I'm the only candidate that is running that has a 100-day plan. Is it a 100-day plan, meaning that we're going to get out of bankruptcy in 100 days? Absolutely not. But it's a focused approach. It just simply means within my first 100 days, if elected, that I'm going to address specific issues. Would you like to hear them?
I want to hear them,
All
of course.
right.
That's why you're here, Roxanne. You're here to let us hear everything.
Well, what a coincidence. Before I get into my 100-day plan, I just want to let the listening audience know, a little bit about my background. I'm a mother of 5 children. And my oldest 2 are grown, and my oldest 3 now.
They can't be grown. I don't believe you.
My oldest 3, yes, I have 3 that are out.
How old is your oldest?
My oldest, she's 25, and she has her own career as a teacher. So
you had her when you were 3.
Oh well, thank you. Are you complimenting on my youthful looks?
I am. I absolutely am. I hope the people who are podcasting too can see you, because I really am.
Well, I appreciate that. I often tell people, I'm a little older than I look. You have to tell my knees, which remind me that, that I'm 45.
Well, that's true with all of us, I guess.
So, like I said, I'm a mother of 5 children, and I was Teacher of the Year. So I'm an educator. And I'm an award-winning teacher. I was top 10 teacher right here in the city of San Bernardino. I used to be a professor of anatomy at San Bernardino Valley College. And I also have 2 masters. One of them is from Loma Linda University from the School of Medicine. I have a master's also in educational administration from Cal State San Bernardino. And I give that background to let people know that I have the financial background because I was trained in budgets and finance. And that's really important because you have to have people who are qualified for city council on day one. And I believe I am qualified on day one. I understand budgets and our fiduciary responsibility. I also understand the people. I've been serving people in the community for many years as a community advocate. I'm on the Parks and Recs Commission, and I'm really proud of the fact that last year we built a playground on the west side of San Bernardino with the help of the community, the parents, the students, with the help of the city. So I know how to bring different people together, and I just want the chance as a city council member to grow these partnerships.
It's very frustrating, I think, when you look at something that isn't working as well as it should, or perhaps it's working badly, very, very badly, and you can't do anything about it. So I understand your lust for wanting to help fix it.
Absolutely. And people have entitled me as the fixer. I've taken broken systems and broken organizations and turned them around. I'll give you an example. I was on my church board for 14 years. We were in the red. We were spending more than we were taking in. Sound familiar?
Yes.
Absolutely. So I became one of the fixers on the finance committee, and my thing was really simple. I said, as a committee, we're going to pick 3 things we're going to focus on, and any spending that is outside of that is going to be a big, fat, juicy no. And so when people wanted to spend frivolously, I would say no, because it does not meet our priorities. And with that mindset, we were able to turn our finances around from the red to the black. We ended up with a surplus and were able to purchase a new church facility. So I helped to run a $1.3 million annual budget. with a 50,000 square foot facility. So I've done it privately with church. I was trained at Cal State San Bernardino in finance and budget. And so I think that I can do it here in the city as well with the support of the community.
Well, that's a very a good, positive attitude that you have. And I think it's a good plan and a good goal. So
Absolutely.
I hope that you're able to really contribute to that. And are there other city council people running, or others terms that are over? Or?
Yes. So the current incumbent is not running anymore, Ricky Van Johnson. He's retiring. So right now it's an open seat, and I have 3 other opponents. So there are 4 of us that are running. I feel, once again, I'm the most qualified. I'm the only candidate that has policy experience. I actually did a fellowship for the Center for Civic Policy and Leadership here in San Bernardino and studied the finances in our city. One of my mentors in the program was Greg Devereaux, the CEO of the County of San Bernardino, and we were able to host him, and he laid out a plan talking about a vision. You have to have a plan first. You plan your work and you work your plan. We hosted him, and the session was called Creating a Vision in Difficult Economic Times. He talked about create a plan and then make sure you execute that plan. And it's really simple. The problem with San Bernardino, we've never created a vision. We've never created a plan. I don't know where we're going in the city of San Bernardino. I literally don't know if we're going left, right, up, down, round, and around. How can the people in the city council execute and implement a plan if they don't know what it is? That's why I've implemented or written the 100-day plan, and we'll focus on that.
How can we learn more about the 100-day plan?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. I'd love to tell you about it now. So basically, I've broken it up into 2 major components. Focusing specifically on the 6th Ward, which is on the west side of San Bernardino, and then focusing on what we need to do in City Hall to fix our problem. So the 100-day plan in the 6th Ward has the following major components. It focuses on safety, city services, beautification and pride, economic development, jobs, and small business. And so the first component talks about safety. And why do we need to focus on safety? Number one, if people don't feel safe, they won't stay in our city. They will flee, whether they're a business or just residents living here, renters or homeowners. They won't stay. And so...
May I interject for a minute?
Sure.
You know, the Automobile Club of Southern California had a very nice office here, beautiful facility. And one of their reasons they said they were moving is because their employees felt unsafe. That's a disastrous thing to happen.
Disastrous. And
now they're in Highland.
I know. And so that's case in point. So we should have been communicating, number one, with the businesses downtown and making sure we're meeting their needs. Absolutely. If they don't feel safe, they're not going to stay. And so I know this is a little side point, but I really think we should create downtown specifically something called the Miracle Square. The Miracle Square, in my opinion, would be fashioned after the best practices of the Miracle Mile in Los Angeles. Have you heard of the Miracle Mile?
Oh, I've been there many times.
Okay.
Mother used to go there every month on a Saturday to shop.
Absolutely.
Magnons, Saks Fifth
Exactly.
Avenue, Bullocks.
Exactly. So the Miracle Mile in Los Angeles is on Wilshire Boulevard, and it was created to support businesses and to bolster the economy. So why can't we create something similar in San Bernardino downtown called the Miracle Square? And my idea, it would be bounded on the west side by the 215 freeway on the west side, the north by 5th Street, on the east by Waterman, and the south by Rialto. And the reason why is, number one, people get off on 5th Street. It's very busy, okay? So when they enter downtown, it's just the bustling street that people, come into San Bernardino. Waterman's another a busy corridor, and Rialto is the new up-and-coming area with the transit center and the SBX line and Loma Linda University there, and the 66er Stadium. And I say the west side would be the 215 freeway because that's just a natural physical cutoff there. Within that Miracle Square, my suggestion is that we clean it up and make it safe. We need to have highly visible police officers there, and to making the residents feel that they're safe, and they can come there and have lunch, And we also need to promote the small businesses there. Downtown, where can we eat? There are very few places downtown. And that's a shame because we have county workers here. We have state workers, Caltrans here. We have the school district employees downtown.
Nice sized buildings full of people.
Full of people. Where can we go to eat? And then at 5 p.m., it turns into a ghost town. Everyone exits 2nd Street and 5th Street. Goodbye. There go our dollars. Forever until the next day when they may or may not come into our city.
Well, I wish you well in implementing such a plan. I think it has great merit. I was in Riverside this morning for a meeting, and I can envision now. I got off the freeway. I was a block away or so from the Mission Inn, and I saw these beautiful buildings and restaurants, and it was very inviting.
Absolutely. So, if you recall. 25, 30 years ago, downtown and Riverside was also blighted. So our city is still blighted. So what did they do differently that San Bernardino did not do? Well, number one, they created a plan of revitalization. They created a vision and then a plan based upon that. And San Bernardino needs to do the same thing. Without a plan, the leadership will not know where to go. It's like if I told you, you know what, let's go to Las Vegas. Okay, and I just said, how are we going to get there? I don't know, just get there.
Where is it?
Where is it? You would need a map, you would need a direction, you would need to plan on what freeway are we going to take, what exit are we going to take.
A car.
A
little bit of money
to buy gas. A little bit of money, exactly, and gas, and all the necessities you would need to get there. But San Bernardino, we've said, we're going to Vegas. How? I don't know. I don't know which direction. We don't have a map. So how can people in leadership implement something they don't know what they're doing because they have no plan?
Well, we've made some mistakes, and now we have to fix them.
You're right.
That may mean educating people. Some key people in there have to be vibrant and alive and awake to share their ideas and make it happen. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
It won't happen. You just
Absolutely.
go by the seat of your pants.
And you know what? And I'm tired of hearing the excuse, Santa Fe left, the Norton Air Force Base left, and it affected the economy. You're right. But that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
We have to come up with a vision and a plan to recuperate ourselves from that. And I really think that you listen to the economist, Dr. John Husing. He talks about how logistics, manufacturing, and healthcare should be a focus. So our realty here is way cheaper than Los Angeles. We can actually compete with manufacturing because per square foot prices here are way cheaper than Los Angeles or in Long Beach or San Pedro.
Is that happening at all with inventory control and supply, people who sell products in big time? I know some big warehouses down by Hospitality Lane area, east of Hospitality Lane. Has that begun to happen in a meaningful way or just happenstance?
Are you asking, are they in construction now?
Yeah.
There are buildings being in construction. Hillwood has been a big part of the warehouses there.
What do they do? Do you know? I don't know.
That's a good question. They do have some large warehouses. We should have them on this program, actually, and ask them specifically what is their plan.
Tell them to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's we can have them here with us.
I would love to hear their manufacturing plan and their construction plans and what they're doing in that part of San Bernardino.
Yeah. We need to do that. I think it's very important.
It's a good idea.
It's important to help the people in this community, and it's important to support good things that can happen to do that. But we've got to get off our butts and do it. It doesn't just happen.
Absolutely. And I walk the talk. I don't just talk about it and complain about it. I'm here, and I've been rolling up my sleeves for years and working hard in San Bernardino to be part of the solution and not just complaining about the problem.
Well, let's work together.
Yes.
And let's get people to work with us. Everybody who's listening needs to understand that you are a part of this community. We are cells in the community, just like there are trillions of cells in our body. And if we don't work together, if we go amok, that's what's called cancer. And I think we have been struck with cancer on the community level, and we need to do something about it. We need healing, we need repair, and renewal. And I think it's wonderful. Your plans are good. I think that we need to really encourage people who you can invite on the show to come and develop, and then we'll have the CDs available for you to send and use and educate people with. And you can, how do you do that? We have a machine. It's very cheap to duplicate them.
Technology.
Yeah, technology. Go on the computer, and the show will be archived. Somebody can tell us how to get into the archive. Can you do that? All right, we need help. You know me, I'm hopeless. I can barely turn on the computer.
That's where my wonderful children come in.
Right.
They're technologically savvy, and they know how to do everything. So I just ask my son, how do I do this if I don't know?
I have a 10-year-old geek too. I call him up, and he tracks all my radio shows and does whatever he has to do to be able to retrieve them quickly for me.
Absolutely.
He's 11 now.
They're technology natives. They grew up with technology, so it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes. So like as I was saying on the 100-day plan.
Oh wait, I want her to tell us something. What are you going to tell us?
Well, no, you've been to the KCAAradio.com site, right?
Yes.
Yes?
Absolutely.
Yes, Roxanne.
Absolutely.
Dr. Jolly, no? No?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Well, all you would do, we want to say listen to Dr. Jolly's show when we get home. Okay, you're going to go on weekday schedule. If you go to the site, on the left, there are some blue rectangle boxes. It'll say home, KCAA staff, sponsors, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We want Wednesday. So we would click on the Wednesday tab, and hopefully that won't play. Let's see, we'll go to Wednesday. And then we scroll down, and everything is in order. We would go to Dr. Jolly's lovely picture. What happened? It looks like they stretched you out or something. And there's below your picture, there's web and there's podcast. So you're going to then click on podcast, and your whole library shows up.
Wow.
With the very latest September 2nd, which was last week, which I think was actually a rerun.
It was a rerun because I was stuck in the road far away.
So I
was coming back from China.
It's so good to see you.
Thank you.
So that's what you would do, and then download it, and then once it's downloaded, you can listen to it.
Awesome.
Or you can actually hit the button that says listen to it now, and you could forward through if you want or what have you.
And you can make you can make a CD with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Would you like that, Roxanne?
Absolutely. Why not?
I can do that for you.
Well, there's technology for you.
Amen.
Okay.
So as I was saying on the 100-day plan, we've talked a little bit about the safety, but people want to know how could we implement that? Well, I'm a big proponent of neighborhood watches, and
You started one.
I've started. It was 5 of them.
5 of them,
to be precise.
Holy Moses.
And I'm very passionate about this because we hear a lot of complaints from the residents about the issues of safety. So we have to educate the residents on how to know their neighbors and how to access the services and communicate effectively with the police department, and also how to look up crime reports, and also just how to be a good neighbor. And so that's one of my passions. And so increasing the neighborhood watch groups and having them talk. I want to supersize our neighborhood watch groups. We have some in the city, but I want to supersize them, because we can be the eyes and ears for the police to help reduce crime and keep things safe in our neighborhoods.
We need to do that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely need to do that.
Absolutely.
I have a house in San Bernardino up by the Arrowhead Country Club, and that area is crazy. It's just crazy. There are people who come and stalk the houses and rob them during the day when you're not there, rob them at night. It's awful. And
that's why it's really important for, we're not going to be vigilantes. It's not the job of neighborhood watch groups. The job is to be the eyes and ears for the police to make sure that the neighbors know during the daytime when people are very vulnerable for burglaries, to call the police. When you see something, if you're in doubt, phone it out. When you're in doubt, phone it out. Even if you just have that inkling, just pick up the phone, call the police, and know how to do that. Know what numbers.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen.
So that's so I'm a big proponent of neighborhood watch groups. They bring people together. And neighborhood watch groups are not just about meetings about crime. We have social events, picnics, and barbecues, and this is actually bonds the community together. And the criminals will get the message: we better stay out of this neighborhood because they're watching us, and it works.
Yeah, it does work.
Absolutely.
I think it's an exciting idea what you proposed about inviting some of the people who are developing businesses in the town and talking to them and asking them what their plans are, so that at least the people who listen can be a little bit excited about what's going on.
Absolutely. And getting the businesses in the neighborhood watch groups is highly crucial as well, because in certain neighborhoods, the commercial zones are right next to the residential housing. And so they can help one another. And I'll give you an example. I used to hear the commercial alarms go off sometimes at night, and I would call the police. So I was like essentially helping them watch their business.
Yes.
So businesses need to be involved in neighborhood watch groups as well. And another suggestion that I have in my 100-day plan to help monitor the panhandlers and the shoplifters is that we need to create business improvement districts. And what those are basically private businesses would basically help to police themselves. They would pay into a central fund and hire their own patrol, their own security. So when there are issues of panhandling, which is a nuisance in the city, but it's not a priority for our city police. Our city police are busy trying to capture, murderers and rapists, and that should be their primary focus. And so when they get a call for panhandling, it's the bottom of the list.
My family used to live on 17th Street. Some of them. I had over 200 relatives in town. But beautiful homes, gorgeous, beautiful area it was. And it started to decline a number of years back. And we started our own little police force in a kind of a funny way. We contracted with a local security company. And I got the city to put in a cul-de-sac between 17th Street and Arrowhead cul-de-sac, so that it eliminated the cars from going back and forth a lot. They had to come and turn around, so they didn't do that anymore. So that was a good thing. And then we had them patrol, and they did it not at the same time every night. And we gave them all permission to put their searchlights onto our houses and down between our driveways and between the houses. And we cut out 100% crime, 100%. And those of us who participated, which was everybody, had the opportunity and right to call them when we had some suspicious activity going, and they'd be there real fast. And sometimes you'd see somebody running off.
That's interesting. So
17th Street and 18th
So how
Street.
many years did that last?
Well, and it lasted until I left town. Probably it lasted 10 years.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it was good. And we were willing to pay for it because it made everybody feel good. And we had alleys. See, we have alleys on that street. It would make you very vulnerable when you have alleys. And most of us put high fences and things. I had around my property 12-foot shrubs all the way around, and huge fences and high gates. I mean, they were like 10 feet tall. And it was very good, but that's what happened. Everything deteriorated to the point we had to defend ourselves.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we definitely need to talk about definitely neighbors being safe and being involved as well in their neighborhood as well. So that's some of my ideas for safety.
I think you have some good ideas, and let's follow up. Let's follow up by you making an agenda for us to help and find out what's going on with new businesses and new warehouses and new whatever. Somebody told me there's a million square foot warehouse down there. Is that true? Is that possible?
Are you talking about the Amazon facility?
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Yes, Amazon facility is a large logistics center in San Bernardino.
That's incredible. They must have a lot of people.
They have
there.
Hundreds of employees, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and we're ripe for that because you said the cost of land, the cost per square foot of leases, much lower.
Absolutely.
Much lower. In the building where our medical center is in Orange County, it's about $8 to $10 a square foot rent.
Wow.
Per square foot.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
And
per month.
So I think that San Bernardino can definitely compete with that, and we need to keep that in mind.
Probably a third less.
Yes, absolutely. And what's beautiful about San Bernardino, we're proximal to interstate highways, the 10 freeway, the 215, the 210. We're proximal. We have the train services here. And, we're not that far from the ports of San Pedro and Long Beach.
Especially for things who are destined to come up here anyway. If they're destined to be distributed in this entire Inland Empire area and the desert, this is a perfect place for it.
Absolutely. So I just think that San Bernardino has so much potential. We were at once the All-America city. We need to bring back that vision and that passion that we have. We have the right mixtures of what we need. We just need the right leadership that have a visionary plan like the 100-day plan that I'm proposing.
And the people can push that. The people need to be motivated to push for that.
Absolutely. One of the greatest things that people can do is, number one, vote and being involved. Watch the city council meetings. We have to do our part as citizens as well to watch your elected officials. If not, there's a lot of corruption.
Well, and people go amok. They all go. Everybody can go amok.
Well, that's true. That's why you need to elect someone like me, who's an educator and who's passionate about, just saving the city.
And the auditor. You could be the auditor. The auditor of auditors.
The auditor of auditors.
Yeah, you need them. I found things going on in our bank that were unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Auditor would come up in my office, and Secretary Jan would call me, and she'd say, Berkeley wants to talk to you. And I knew it was always bad news. So he'd sit down with me and say, you know what's going on in the real estate department? You know what's going on in the appraisal department? And I'm finding these things, and he'd show them to me, and I was freaked out. And if we hadn't have fixed them, we'd have been in a mess.
Well, you've heard the term trust but verify.
Amen. Amen.
That's all an audit is show me. We gave you the money. Now show me what you do with it.
Well, talk to me about what we can do to help your election.
Thank you for asking. So our election is coming up November 3rd, and right now we're looking for more volunteers. We're looking for volunteers to knock on the doors with me and spread my message that we can bring back the pride to the West Side and to talk about my 100-day plan to fix our city. We need people to make phone calls. If you are not physically able to walk with me, you can make phone calls and call people. If you're not able to do that, you can come and fix breakfast for my volunteers or fix lunch for my volunteers.
You have a place where that can be done?
Absolutely. Absolutely. All you have to do is go to my website, roxannecanwin.com, roxannecanwin.com, and sign up as a volunteer. And my team will call you and we'll let you know what we're doing. You can even help me put up banners and signs. So there's always something to do for anyone who's passionate about this campaign and turning the city around.
Well, we got to get them passionate.
Yes. I think when they start seeing progress, when they start seeing downtown and our Miracle Square fixed up, when they start seeing, what we're going to do with the Carousel Mall here, are we gonna demolish it and build something else, or we're going to repair it, or what are we going to do? When they start seeing something physically, I think that's going to spark people's interest. When they start seeing the city cleaned up on 5th Street and 2nd Street, when they start seeing activity on Highland Boulevard and Mount Vernon corridor, when we're actually promoting our small businesses again and the mom and pop shops, I think that's going to excite them.
You get much help from the local newspaper?
Yes, the newspapers have been very supportive, and they're continuing to support me. They published my 100-day plan so far. I have some other things that are going to come up really soon. So I'm excited to create that excitement through the newspapers.
And in a city election, can anybody in the city vote for any city council person? Or does it have to be the people in the district? Okay,
that's a very good question. So in the city of San Bernardino, we have something called wards, and we have 7 wards, and they're basically districts. You have to live in a particular district to vote for a particular person in that district. So for example, in the 6th ward, You have to live in the 6th ward to vote for me. I live in the 6th ward, and I cannot vote for someone in the 4th ward or someone in the 5th ward. So we have districts or specific restrictions.
That means you have to vote for yourself.
I hope I vote for myself. Absolutely. Well, what a good idea.
Yeah.
So it's different from at large. Our school, San Bernardino City Unified School District, our school board members are elected at large, meaning that if I live in the 6th ward, I can vote for anyone who's on the ballot that for school board. So it's different.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Absolutely.
Good to know. What are the boundaries of your ward?
So the boundaries, so we're on the east side, we're bounded by the 215 freeway, to the north by the 210 freeway, and to the south, roughly Baseline, and we border on the west side on Rialto. So what's interesting, a lot of people don't know that Rialto, part of Rialto, the easternmost borders of Rialto actually votes in San Bernardino elections.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's not just our city at stake, it's Rialto at stake too.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Anything else you want to cover?
Oh, sure. I would love to keep talking briefly about my 100-day plan and the city services. I just think we need to focus on basic city services. I hear a lot of complaints from the residents about the lack of street sweeping, the potholes, the dim street lights. They're concerned about the conditions of the parks. So we need to go back to focusing on our basic services because we are service insolvent as well. Our beautification and pride, I want to talk about some really innovative ideas how we can simply beautify our city. We have rebates through the state of California and through municipal water districts and retailers. I'll give you an example. There's a company in Los Angeles who will come and remove your front lawn for free. How do they do that? They utilize the rebates through the state, through municipal water districts, and their water retailers. Why don't we have that in San Bernardino?
Could we have it? What does it take?
It would take cooperation and partnership with our retailer for our water board here, where we pay our water bill to, and cooperation through the rebates that are available through the state for that to happen. And the reason why that's important is we can take some of these blighted front yards and transform them into something beautiful. And through that savings, the residents or renters could probably save $2,000 a year because they don't have to water their lawn. They don't have to have someone cut their grass. They don't have to make sprinkler repairs, and they can have a beautiful front yard. Take that $2,000 and invest it somewhere and go shopping in our city.
Why don't we try to do that?
Why don't we try to do that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I agree.
So what do? Go to the city council and talk to them?
We would have to start talking to the water department and making sure that the municipal water districts and all the rebates that are available for the residents as well.
Suppose we could get somebody at Cal State, a professor, to create a class project. Sounds good, like for a master's program or a PhD program to revitalize the city's attitude towards something like that?
I like that. What a great idea. And what if we could transfer this to our school districts? I mean, our school districts have a lot of green grass as well. If we could maybe convert some of those to drought-tolerant plants and start saving money, we could, help save the environment, save water. We're in an emergency drought right now. These are just some of the innovative ideas that I have in my 100-day plan.
Do you know the president of Cal State?
Dr. Tomas Morales?
He lives in back of me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He lives facing the golf course, and I live on this side.
Okay.
And we should meet with him.
We should.
Yeah.
Why not?
We got to do it.
Let's make it happen.
All right.
I'm all for that.
Okay, you will call me, and next week I'll be back in town.
Okay, you're going out of town again.
Wow. I've gone a lot,
Wow, it must be nice to travel everywhere.
I was in China, but let me tell you what happened to me in China. When we landed, the typhoon landed.
Wow. Did you bring the typhoon?
I brought the typhoon, and it rained constantly the time I was there, and they told me they had 400 inches of rain. But that's got to be over 30 feet, doesn't it? I don't know how we could have done it, except at that time I was on the island in the Republic of China on Taiwan, and the water just goes into the sea. Okay. But it also knocked down a lot of houses in the hills along with it. And then when we got over to the mainland, the same thing happened. It rained constantly while we were there, and the wind blew and lifted the airplanes up at that were in the parking lot at there. What do you call it? Runway. Mm-hmm. They lifted them up. Big 747s. The wind lifted them up. They say it was 160 miles an hour.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
You have a lot of energy that you bring behind you then.
Yeah, from the wind. The wind. Well, I have to tell you that this has been very exciting, and we're nowhere near done. So we have to plan another time for you to be on, maybe 3-4 weeks from now.
Sure. Just let me know. And like I said, meanwhile, you can go to roxannecanwin.com, and I have a abbreviated a summary of the 100-day plan, and you can get more specifics.
Okay, good. Well, how can we get that to the people? It's on the website?
It's on my website, roxannecanwin.com.
Good. Well, God bless you. I wish you good in everything you do, and I want to help you. And we got to get something going. I think the idea of getting Cal State, if we can get them behind us, would be nice.
That would be great, because not only will we have the momentum and ideas of the students, Cal State already has a demonstration garden for water-wise landscaping there, and they're actually refurbishing it. They're going to install some new signs there for really beautiful drought-tolerant plants there. And that's one of the places actually where I got this idea. I said, wow, if we could re-landscape our front yards, and most of the water we use in our houses is for watering outside our lawns.
Amazing.
So imagine if you could pocket that money and use it for something else. We can go shopping in San Bernardino.
Save the water, too.
Save the water.
Yeah.
Exactly. And keep our neighborhoods beautiful still. It's a win-win situation. We just got to get it done.
Well, let's do it.
Absolutely.
I want to help. God bless
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. And let's talk. You'll call me during the week sometime?
Sure.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
I want to thank you very much, too. And everybody, listeners, we're going to have a commercial. I didn't on purpose have a commercial because I didn't want to disturb you.
Oh.
See, now it's commercial time. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy has only lately begun to gain recognition for treatment of chronic degenerative health problems, including stroke, diabetic ulcers, wound healing, brain injury, and many other disorders. Whenever blood flow and oxygen delivery to vital organs is reduced, healing can potentially be aided with hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Are you a candidate for hyperbaric oxygen therapy? Contact Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, PhD, for a free consultation and see if this groundbreaking therapy can help you. Mention KCAA and get a free gift. Call toll-free 1-877-423-7986. That's 1-877-423-7986.
Or go to hyperbaric-solutions.com. That's www.hyperbaric-solutions.com.
Call toll-free right now, 1-877-423-7986. Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Behind on your payments or barely making minimums? Do your massive interest payments have you running like mad in circles? How long can you keep it up? Stop running. Let the Thomas & Law Group carefully plan your escape. The Thomas & Law Group has proven itself for over 18 solid years, helping thousands of people like you and me reclaim our financial future. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and offices in all 50 states. And the best part? There are no upfront fees at all. You won't pay a dime until the job's done. No upfront costs, no monthly fees, no banking fees. No other law firm does that. I'm a paid spokesperson, not a lawyer, and every case is different. But really, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, call the Thomas & Law Group right away for a free, no-obligation consult with a trained legal analyst at 800-460-9790. Call now because you're tired of running in circles. 800-460-9790. 800-460-9790.
Welcome back. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on KCAA 1050 on your AM radio dial. And I'm here with Roxanne Williams, and Dr. J is on the line. Dr. J, the last
Yes, can everybody hear me?
Oh, God, the whole world can hear you. I'm afraid of that.
Oh, well,
some
there
of
you
the
go.
questions,
That's always
some of the
difficult.
questions you brought us before were wild and outrageous.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've been getting a lot of complaints about happiness and unhappiness and such like that in some areas that I'm somewhat of an expert on and things that I'm planning on putting in my book. And I was wondering if we might go over some of those today.
Well, I have an opinion about everything, you know. I know very little,
Well,
but
that's
I have
good.
lots of
Good.
opinions.
I like your opinion, and everybody else seems to like it. That's why we
Well,
keep calling in.
let's hear your comments, your questions. Are these coming from people?
It seems that most of the happiness and unhappiness revolves around relationships. That relationships either seem to make you happy or make you unhappy. And what I'd like to kick around and have you kick around with me are the causes of this happiness and unhappiness.
Well, let me tell you something. First of all, you cannot make me unhappy, and you cannot make me happy. Happiness has to be a decision, and happiness is attitudinal. And happiness is achieving some of your own goals and doing some of the things in your life that you want to do and getting rid of some of the irksome things in your life. You say somebody makes you unhappy. Well, you know, you've chosen to be with them. And if it's not working, then you have to deal with what agreements do you have. We don't do anything the way we're supposed to anyway, half the time. You know, the whole universe works on the basis of agreements. There's an agreement between the sun and the earth and the moon. If that agreement is broken in a matter of inches, we will either fly into the sun and be completely burned up or fly into outer space and be frozen very, very quickly. If the gravitational force agreement between the moon and the earth is disrupted, the oceans will overflow and we'll all be drowned. Everything runs by agreement. You plant an apple seed, you expect an apple tree, not belladonna, which is poison, or not something else. And when you get married, people do not do what they're supposed to do, even if you're just living with somebody. You do it because you're in heat. You don't do it because you want to be together and build a life and turn around and make agreements. You got to make an agreement. You got to follow what the old Jewish tradition was and sit down and write down. They had 613 rules in the Jewish order, and then the scriptural rules, the Ten Commandments. That's a lot of rules. And they would make their contract of marriage and then hang it on the wall near the front door. So every time you went out, you were reminded that's your contract. That's the woman's responsibilities. That's the man's responsibilities. We need to do more of that. We need to take control of our lives, just like my guest, Roxanne Williams, is trying to look at her ward in the city and make plans and have agreements to implement those plans. That's what happiness is about. And we want to...
Well, I couldn't agree with you more. Continue.
Well, we want to put it on somebody else. So if I'm not feeling good or something is wrong with me, it's your fault. You did it to me. Nobody can do it to you. You understand what I'm saying? I hope everybody listens to me and hears me. Make your own agreements. Do you want to be happy? Decide to be happy. What does happiness mean? Write it down. What does it mean to you? If it means to make more money, then learn. You will be paid in life in direct proportion to the difficulty in replacing you. So if you're complaining because you're making $8 an hour, go out and learn some more so you'll be more valuable. I know surgeons, brain surgeons that I work with that make $50,000 an operation because there's maybe 3 of them in the whole state who can do it. And that's what I'm saying to people. Get out and learn. Get off your ass and go learn more, be more valuable. Learn how to deal with your bosses. I ran an institution with thousands of employees, and I absolutely know without a doubt that if an employee will make it easy for the boss to criticize them and guide them and help them, they will become more valuable because, first of all, they'll find out where their weaknesses are rather than getting PO'd at it. And if they care about growing, they will correct those weaknesses and they'll ask for help and they will thank their bosses. And periodically they will go to their boss and say, hey, what's going on? I want you to just give me a quick verbal review. What am I doing not so good? How can I help you better? Whatever. Those are my theories. They're not realities in the scope of God's world, I'm sure, but they're sure my realities. And I ran institutions very successfully that way. And I had one institution, I was running a savings and loan facility in Orange County. And I told the women, I called all the women together and I said, you women can be anything you want. I don't care whether you're a teller or whatever. You tell me what you want, and I will pay you to be educated. And I have people that became heads of personnel and heads of accounting and heads of everything, and they worked hard, and they stayed for years. I ran into one of them, Jan Hess, about 2 months ago. She grabbed me and hugged me and kissed me, and she said, all tears started to come down her eyes. I didn't remember her. I didn't recognize her. It was so long ago anyway. And she said, my God, she said, I never thought I'd see you again, but I found you on the web, and I knew what you look like now. I said, what do you mean now? Do I look different than I did? And she said, well, honey, you're a little older. And, of course, that's like 35 years ago, right? So, anyway, I don't know if that helps you or not.
No, that helps tremendously, and it's right at the core, and it's one of the core issues. I would like to talk more about it maybe next week and such. It's one of the areas that I would like to put in a booklet that I'm working on.
Well, if we get any more...
To be honest with you, I think that's enough for the public today because, frankly, this is such an involved area, and the biggest problem that people have within this area, and to give them something to think about between now and next week, is people don't listen, and they don't know about choices. They don't understand that it's all about choice, like you said earlier.
Well, I want to give out the phone number again if anybody wants to call in with some comments. This is a recorded line. It will take your messages. It will transmit them to Dr. J and myself, and we'll have more to talk about. I hope it's a little more intellectually prepared than the some of the last ones we had a couple weeks ago. It is 949-680-1915. That is area code 949-680-1915. I'll say it one more time for those of you who don't have a pen. You can prick your finger and write it in blood. Area code 949-680-1915. Okay, Dr. J, quickly, what else do you have?
Well, it's just something to chew on. When people have problems in dealing with issues that come up and things like that, there's what they call the 3-second rule. And this is the cornerstone of choice. You've got 3 seconds to decide whether or not you're going to take the line of least resistance and let your body and emotions go down that road, or whether or not you're going to choose another path. And that is the profoundness of the 3-second rule, because if you deal with it within that 3 seconds, you can totally change your life in 3 seconds.
You can change the way you deal with people. You can create more effectiveness. You can create more self-discipline. You can not react from your emotions because that always gets you into trouble. I had a student in the last bout I had with teaching that was just always run by his feelings, and nothing ever worked for him. Nothing. He was in a new relationship every 3 or 4 months, and he came to me crying and screaming, and nothing was working, and his grades were going downhill. And I said, hey, you're doing all this to yourself, Paul. You're doing it to yourself. Nobody's doing this to you. Your relationships. I said, the best thing you could do is have a severe masculine amputation for your life, because you are always involved crazily and emotionally with people, and you're letting everybody run your life. We have to run our own life. That's all. And we're not taught to do that. I don't think we're taught to do that. I was taught to do that. I went to military.
So true.
Listen, I was in military. John, listen to me.
I agree with everything you say.
Jay, listen to me for just a minute. I went to military school when I was 6 years old, and the nuns taught us everything that I speak. This is not from me. It's from the nuns that raised me in military academy. And I'm suggesting that in our school system, we start doing that. And I need your help, and I'm going to have to sign off. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I only have 45 seconds left. So anyway, I thank you. I thank God. I thank Roxanne. And I say to everybody, God bless you all. Accept the blessings of God and move in the right direction. We will see you next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Roxanne and I are going to work together, and we're going to do what we can to help this wonderful city of San Bernardino. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel signing off. We'll see you next week.
This is KCAA Loma Linda, the station that leaves no listener behind. CNBC News is next, a courtesy of BuySellMakeOffer.com, where you can post a video about items